in honor of the great Matt Berry who retired. Let's do this for him.
I wonder, should I just put it on the main screen?
Throw it up. It's the greatest day of the year. Draft day.
Draft day. Okay. All right. So can you see this or no?
I can see it.
All right. So it's a 2022 PPR snake draft. This is our roster construction. Is 1 quarterback, 2 running backs, 3 receivers, a tight end, 1 flex, 6 bench spots, defense, and a kicker. I can't change this unless I pay for it, so I'm not doing that. Thank you to Fantasy Pros, even though you don't sponsor us. I hope your thing isn't garbage. Shoo. Let's randomize our draft spot.
All right.
4th. Okay. That's pretty good.
Cheater.
Let's start this draft. Okay. So I feel like this is actually a pretty typical 1, 2, 3, probably. Jonathan Taylor goes first. I'll also bring up this. So this is probably a good way to show everyone. So Jonathan Taylor goes 1 to not my cup of tea. Ha.
Is there any way you can make it a little bigger?
That's what she said.
Sorry, I can't.
Oh.
It's a little better.
Better? Can you see it?
Make it a little bigger. Make it bigger for Daddy.
Oh, my God.
All right, there we go.
Okay. So Jonathan Taylor goes 1. Cooper Kupp, goes 2.
That's
Christian
crazy.
McCaffrey goes 3.
Cooper Kupp going second is crazy to me.
I think that it's realistic that could happen.
I just don't know if he's with Allen Robinson and just the unreal year that he had, and teams might kind of, plan accordingly based off last year. I just don't know if Cooper Kupp's going to be able to replicate what he did last year.
I don't know if he'll be able to replicate it either, but and again, we talked about this offline a little bit of, is this like a Michael Thomas, year where it's like an insane year and, hey, is it, can you replicate it? I don't know. So with our pick, we're obviously not going to go quarterback. We're not going to go tight end. I would hope that you don't think that we'll go tight end yet.
Oh, we have to pick a team together?
Yeah, we're picking it together.
I hate that.
Well, it's happening. So based off of this, I would probably think if we're looking at running back, we'll go Austin Eckler. We'll go.
I think if you have the 4th pick right here, you gotta. I'm either going Eckler or Derrick Henry.
Oh, I forgot. Oh, okay, yeah, I could see that. So I think this is a good. I think in a full PPR, well, Derrick Henry was so good last year. Let's just go Derrick Henry for now.
Yeah, it's a safe pick.
Safe pick.
I like going with safe guys, and
you don't want to look at it.
Your first pick in the first round has to be someone who you're relying on getting you at least 20 points a game.
Yeah, I think so. That's honestly a fair point. So here's
Kelsey
why
went 5th.
I cannot imagine that Kelsey would go 5, but I could be wrong. Here's the interesting thing, right? This is why I think there's such an advantage. It may be a little bit different this year, but generally you have such an advantage of having a top pick, especially in a 10-person league as opposed to a 12. That little bit makes such a difference because having this turn, some people do what's called a 3rd round reversal. I don't know if you ever heard of that before. 3rd round reversal basically means so 1st round, 2nd round happen normally, but you don't have a 301 for the first team. It would go back this way. So it would go 301, 302, 303 this way.
Yeah.
So to try to make it more fair, because I think there's such an advantage to having that first pick, also having the 3rd and the 5th on the first turn. So this is what's happened here. So Jonathan Taylor, Cooper Kupp, Christian McCaffrey, Derrick Henry. Since then, we had Travis Kelce, which I think is a little early for me. Austin Eckler, Justin Jefferson, Aaron Jones, Dalvin Cook, Najee, Jamar Chase, CeeDee Lamb, Swift, Adams, Mixon, Diggs. So I think that there's two things that need to be said, right? First, CeeDee Lamb is a really hard one for me to rank
Yeah.
in my head, and so is Devontae Adams because
I think
Devontae Adams,
Jamar Chase is as well.
yeah, Jamar Chase too, because Jamar Chase, while unbelievable, and I think in ours he'll be a first round pick. I think it's so hard to rank him because he had like those explosion games, but he also had some not great games because of T. Higgins.
Yeah. And Tyler Boyd, who's been progressing every year.
So with our pick, so we could let's go to the cheat sheet.
So this is interesting because I've always, believed that running backs come at a premium and they're so valuable. So you could go with another running back here and your wide receivers obviously won't be as strong. But like here, it's tough because you could take like Kamara, right? And Derrick Henry and Kamara is a filthy duo. But you can't take Kamara because you don't know if he's going to play this year. So you have to pass on him. And then obviously I know you have your eyes are all over this guy. I could see drool coming from your mouth. Saquon, you want
that obvious.
You want him to have a big bounce back year, but it's just
hope he does.
It's another risky pick.
That's a risky pick.
So like I talked about with playing it safe earlier, do you go for someone like Nick Chubb, who you know is going to get a lot of touches? Do you go for Deebo Samuel, who would be a great pick? Do you go for Tyreek Hill?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think starting off running back is a really strong start because then you can pretty much abandon it for a little bit.
Yeah.
Last year I went running back.
How'd that turn out for you?
Yeah, it didn't turn out great. But part of the reason it didn't turn out great because I think my first
Aaron Jones and Najee.
Yeah, that was a good one too. I'm still happy with that. I think that was those are the right picks, even though I could have gotten Jonathan Taylor. No one knew, right? So I picked those two. And then I picked Chris Carson because I couldn't believe he was in the 4th round. That was where I made a mistake.
I couldn't believe you took him.
Yeah, that one was a mistake. I was really convinced because of the great Matthew Berry that he wouldn't be injury prone, but he is, and he had a devastating neck injury. So that didn't really work out. Now. And then they drafted another running back. So, yeah, I mean, you can go Linzer Lenny. I think Mark Andrews is too early for me.
Yeah, I was looking at him too because tight ends go quickly.
They do go quick. I don't know about you. I can't see myself taking one in the first 2 rounds. I feel like it's such a premium.
Yeah, I think I'd rather take a running back or wide receiver, and then in the 3rd or 4th round, hope that Kittle or Waller fall.
All right, why don't we do it for my drool? Let's take Saquon. I don't know if I would actually take Saquon, but he does. I really am hoping that he has a good year.
I think if he was there in the 3rd round, it's a no-brainer.
Yeah, I agree with that.
I don't know if I'm taking him in the 2nd round.
Second round might be a little rich, but I do love him. I do love Saquon so much. I'm sure one of our friends will take. I'm sure it'll be Rosen. I'm going to call that right now. I bet you Rosen takes him in the 2nd round. I'm putting it on camera so I know it's going to happen.
So
he has such an elite upside. So anyway, so after Saquon, Chubb,
Javonte Adams goes kind of crazy.
Javonte, wow, that's really early for Javonte in my opinion. Tyreek, Kamara, which is that's a toughie. Let's say Kamara is suspended 6 games. Do you think this is too early?
Yeah, I think it's way too early. Like I said, you as good as he is, I just don't have enough confidence in the Saints this year, and no matter how good a player is, if he's out for half the season, I think that's could be detrimental to your fantasy season. So it's just not worth it.
I agree with that.
Um,
So with this pick, I mean,
so we
Fournette,
don't have any wide receivers yet.
we have no
I was
receivers.
definitely looking at Mark Andrews, but he just got snagged. So do
Yeah.
you? What are your? I mean, obviously we're not going to take a third running back here, but what are your thoughts on Zeke?
What are my thoughts on Zeke?
Yeah,
I actually like Zeke more than other people. Um, I think people are underrating him because he was hurt last year, and people love Tony Pollard, but people don't realize Tony Pollard is 1 year younger than Zeke.
hmm
He's not like significantly younger, and although he's very dynamic and will have a role, Zeke is still getting paid a crap ton of money. He will be the starter. I think. I mean, I don't think I would go running back here either, especially because we have a 3 wide receiver league.
I think
Um,
you have to go wide receiver here, which
yeah, I
means
think you have to. But I will say Leonard Fournette, interesting that he's still here. I would think he gets picked in the second round.
you think so. I think Leonard Fournette in the second round is crazy to me.
Looking pretty chunky
It's
lately.
not even the weight. It's just I don't see him being a top 3 pick.
That's fair.
I'm pretty sure
I
last year he was like a sixth, seventh, eighth round pick.
Yeah, that's true. I don't know, but yeah, I think we have to go receiver based off of this. Um,
You
and to be
go.
honest, I think Mike Evans really is in a tier. To be honest,
You have to go. It's like you go Mike Evans, Keenan Allen, or AJ Brown, or you could go Scary Terry. But I think I'd probably go AJ Brown here.
yeah. You think you go AJ Brown here?
I think so. Not even speaking as an Eagles fan, I just think out of those options, it's like Mike Evans will get you, your 1,000-yard season, but
People don't realize that 1,000 yard seasons are actually not that impressive. Like,
exactly, and it's not even that, and it's 1,000-yard seasons don't really add up in my opinion in fantasy points wise, but you
I
could
guess,
go Mike Evans here. Obviously, he's going to probably be getting more targets with no more Gronk and Godwin being out for how many games is he going to be out for?
well, there's reports that he might be back week 1. Actually,
Oh,
that
well,
would be a little soon, I would think, based on how late the torn ACL was. But
yeah. I think
um,
Mike Evans is a good pick here. You can't go wrong with him, but at the same time, um,
do
I
you
don't
have
know.
faith in Jalen Hurts? A real question. Like, not trying to like
I just think AJ Brown's too good not to take, and with the success he had with Ryan Tannehill,
also run heavy team.
it's not hard for the Eagles, who are a run heavy team as well. I just think it's not crazy to think that Jalen Hurts is going to throw him the ball an excessive amount of times.
Okay, let's take AJ Brown. Let me tell you what. Here's why I love AJ Brown. Here's why I hate AJ Brown. I hate all Eagles players. So I
That's
hate.
obvious.
I love AJ Brown because I think he's a crazy amazing talent. I still can't believe you guys got him. Um, the concern of Jalen Hurts and like a run heavy offense is super fair, but I don't know if like you probably know this, but like not many people do. When the Eagles came out of the gates last year, they were not a run heavy team. In fact, they weren't a run heavy team until midseason
I know they
because
didn't.
of
That's
injuries.
There's so much frustration of them saying run the damn football, and they
Right.
finally did, and then we finally started getting success.
But you have to wonder with an acquisition that major where they gave him such like guaranteed money. I think you're right. Like I think they will go back to the pass. And they don't have to use run as a crutch, but they have it as always. So let's just see.
So looking at our first 3 picks, Derrick Henry, Saquon, AJ Brown. You look at your 3 guys to produce for you every week. Are you confident in those picks?
Um,
Because I'm not.
I'm not because honestly because of Saquon. Because if Saquon was I don't know if he would have made it back to us. I actually really don't think he would have. But in this mock draft, I think I feel really good about Derrick Henry. Saquon, I really like the upside. I think if it's me, I probably would have taken Mike Evans or Keenan Allen. I think there's too much uncertainty around these two, personally.
Yeah. So here with our next pick, Josh Allen was taken. Do you go?
So I actually think, and I wouldn't even be shocked if you're the one to do this. But Josh Allen went fourth, 401. You have historically taken quarterbacks in the third round, if I remember correctly.
You're correct.
I am correct. Usually it's Mahomes, but you'll have to switch
I'm pretty sure I took Mahomes in the second round last year. But yeah, do you go Mahomes here? Do you go Justin Herbert here? Do you go another receiver and go for Terry McLaurin or DJ Moore?
Let's look at the receivers. So I definitely don't think we would go tight end. I don't think neither. I'm in my opinion, I don't really think these three are worth it right now. Quarterback, we do have Mahomes available to us. We have Herbert available to us. Running back, we have Cam Akers, Etienne, Brees Hall, Antonio Gibson. So these running backs in the middle are all so interesting and so scary at the same time. Cam Akers coming off a torn Achilles, Etienne coming off a Jones fracture. Brees Hall is a rookie in a terrible offense with Michael Carter. Antonio
there he
Gibson,
is, Booby.
Booby. Antonio Gibson. I feel like they just have set him up to fail, even though I think he's so talented. Josh Jacobs. I just don't love Josh Jacobs. Dobbins off of an injury. Elijah Mitchell. Fun fact, San Francisco has not had a same rushing leader in like 6 straight years.
Yeah.
I think AJ Dillon. I like AJ Dillon, but I don't know.
I think as good of a pick as Herbert and Mahomes would be, you have to just kind of stack your team with especially with how important wide receivers are at this point in the draft. So I think you have to go with Terry McLaurin or
I'd go Terry too.
or DJ Moore here, and then rely on in the 6th or 7th round. They probably won't be there, but relying on the 6th or 7th round, going quarterback and seeing if Lamar falls or if you go Kyler or Joey B.
DJ Moore, I don't think is available. So let's go Terry. I think I would do that too. I really like Terry this year. Jalen Waddle, I like, but I think there's too much uncertainty with him right now. So that stinks. So all of the quarterbacks just came off the board. Right after us, we have Patrick Mahomes, Cam Akers, Jalen Waddle, DK. What are your thoughts on DK this year?
I probably wouldn't touch him, to be
honest. That's pretty scary with Geno Smith.
As good as he is, yeah, the Seahawks are just falling apart. They're not going to be a playoff team.
Jerry Jeudy in the 5th. That seems early. All right, back to us. So we right now have Derrick Henry, Saquon, AJ Brown, and Terry. Who are we going with our 5th pick? Do you go back to the well? There's Etienne, Brees Hall, Gibson.
So we got 2 running backs and 2 receivers.
We have 2 receivers right now.
So I'm going either quarterback or running back here.
Okay.
Which also, you look at the options, and I'm not, because I can't see your screen that well, seeing who is picked, but
who was picked?
Yeah, do you go, if you wanted another receiver here, Godwin, Adam Thielen, Amari Cooper, Allen Robinson, or Devonta Smith, who are all great, would be all great 3rd string wide receivers. You'd have those wide receivers would be stacked with I think Scary Terry, and who was the first wide receiver we took?
AJ
Brown, Scary Terry, and maybe Allen Robinson. But I think here, go running back or quarterback.
Yeah, I agree with you. Well, I guess the question is, and this is something you'll have to ask yourselves in your drafts. You play the ADP game, which basically means everyone has a different ADP, average draft position. In ESPN, there's a different one than Yahoo, than a different one than Fantasy Pros, which we're using currently. There are going to be players that are way further down the draft board than you're anticipating, and people will not see them. So, as an example, not that he was a good pick last year, but Brandon Ayuk was very far down the draft board last year, when in other ones he was really high up. So he was a 4th-round pick some places, 7th-round pick others. And you have to know your league mates' tendencies. This is something I went over in the dynasty advice stuff. Do your league mates take one of these elite quarterbacks? I think if it's me,
Let's go to show the pick so far.
So 1, 2, 3 people have quarterbacks. So I think we can wait on quarterback. I usually like to wait on quarterback.
Lamar Jackson most likely won't be there.
Lamar Jackson will probably be gone for sure.
So do you have enough faith in Kyler or Jalen Hurts or Joey B to be a good? Because Joey B played really well last year for fantasy wise.
He did.
And Jalen Hurts did.
That was another one that I dropped. Good job, Jason. I probably would. I think I would. I probably have more faith in a running back right now, to be honest.
Who are the running backs left on the board?
So, ETN, Breece Hall, Antonio Gibson, Josh Jacobs, J.K. Dobbins.
I'm really not a fan of any of these running backs, but I think you have to take a chance on one of those top 3 guys.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, I agree.
I don't like anybody who plays for Jacksonville, so I'm either taking Gibson here or taking a risk and seeing if Breece Hall does anything in his rookie year.
Let's go Breece Hall.
Breece Hall is the number 1 running back out of rookie running backs this year.
Yeah, and it's not even close. I really like Breece Hall, but I'm not sure how he'll do. And the Jets is a wasteland. Although, look at that, and Lamar is still available. So
yeah.
Right after him,
the top 5.
Oh, that was a good pick.
The top 5 rookie players that are going to go, I think, will be Breece Hall at 1, Drake London at 2, Garrett Wilson at 3, Treylon Burks at 4, and then maybe like Kenneth Walker at 5.
Mm-hmm.
That would be my prediction. So I think Breece Hall would be a good pick.
Yeah, I agree. I think that's a good pick.
Sure enough, Travis was taken next. Yep, both those tight ends are gone. So now we have some issues at the tight end position because the only option really left is Dallas Goedert.
Yeah, I wouldn't take him probably now.
Hopkins in the 6th round is interesting.
That's ambitious. Honestly, AJ Dillon in the 6th round is really ambitious.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know about that one.
Because that's somebody who needs to be in your starting lineup every week, your first 6 picks. And I'm not putting AJ Dillon in my starting lineup.
Yeah, I don't want AJ Dillon.
It's a great stash pick if Aaron Jones gets hurt.
Absolutely. But, you don't want him starting every game. I don't he has no upside. His upside's capped. I think we either go receiver or we go Lamar here.
Who are the receivers available?
Top receivers: Amari Cooper, Darnell Mooney, Amon-Ra, Juju. I hate that. I hate Juju. Michael Thomas. We just talked about him. Chris Godwin, Elijah Moore, Thielen, Gabe Davis, Devontae Smith. We're not doubling up on Eagles. No way. Jose.
I think I'm either going Thielen, Godwin, or Lamar here.
I think. Well, I'll let you do this one because I did the last one.
I say just take Lamar. I think it's a safe pick.
Yeah.
Look, if you want to look at the other quarterbacks, like Joey B and Jalen Hurts, you could wait for them. They're not a bad pick. I am completely passing on Aaron Rodgers this year.
I am too.
If you
I wouldn't
if you
take the chance.
if you really want to wait, I think something that teams do, which is like kind of not a bad strategy, is waiting till later rounds and in like back to back rounds, taking if they're available, Jalen Hurts and Tom Brady, because then you have two quarterbacks who could have a lot of upside
That's
and who you
interesting.
can rotate in and week out depending on their matchups.
I guess we probably could have waited one more round for quarterback in this mock draft. But I feel pretty good about it. So
Yeah,
Amari Cooper, Amon-Ra, Chris Godwin, Burrow, Mooney, and Jacobs go right after us. Right now,
I
our
say
team.
I say go Thielen here or go some wide
Yeah,
receiver
I
that
would. I
you.
think I'd go Thielen. I like Thielen a lot, actually.
I like him a lot.
Oh, like Thielen, I think is very undervalued. I get why. I get because
Because he
Justin
gets you
Jefferson.
like every week, at least based off last season, he got you like 3 catches for 10 yards and a touchdown.
Right, but like you'll take that.
Yeah.
It's still pretty good.
Uh huh.
Um, uh-huh. So this is
Trey
interesting.
Lance, how about that?
Yeah, Trey Lance. Wow. Elijah Moore, Drake London. Drake London's a toughie because Marcus Mariota probably caps his ceiling for redraft. Michael Thomas at the 7th. Dalton Schultz, who still has not. I don't
Has
think he's.
Jalen Hurts not been picked yet?
Jalen Hurts just got picked.
Oh, okay, I was gonna say that's surprising they took Dak over him.
That is surprising.
And Juju.
Juju. Oh
I think Juju honestly is gonna have a good year. Just because of Patrick Mahomes.
I hate Juju is dead to me based on what happened in that playoff game. He's dead to me.
That was awesome.
Barely get to the win.
I'll take it.
Dak Prescott, Kyler, JK. I think JK will go before the 8th round.
Yeah, I agree with that.
I think someone will take a chance on that upside.
Take a chance. Who are the
on me?
Who are the tight ends available? Because I think you have to take a tight end at this point.
You think so? Yeah, so right now our team is AJ Brown, or let's just go down. It's Lamar, it's Saquon, it's Derrick Henry, it's Terry, AJ Brown, and Thielen. Which I mean,
Brees Hall in the flex. That's a pretty good lineup so far.
Did we take? We didn't take. Oh, we did take Brees Hall. Oh yeah, that's okay. So I actually think that's a pretty good team so far.
Yeah, you just need a tight end.
So we got Hawkins socks, we got Godert, and we have Ertz.
So Hawkinson was good last year. He just got hurt, right?
Hawkinson was good last year. He got hurt. Yeah, exactly. The only thing with Hawkinson, and this is my only gripe with him. He's really good, but I'm wondering how that target tree will go now that there's Jameson Williams won't start the year, but when he comes back mid-year, he'll be there. DJ Chark will be there. Amon-Ra took a step forward while they were all out.
I think it's a tough pick, but he probably won't be there next round. And I know you don't like Eagles, but I think you have to pick Dallas Goedert here.
You think you take Goddard over him?
I'd take Goddard over Hawkinson, but Hawkinson's a good pick too. I just think it's too unreliable. Like I don't trust the Lions this year, even though Dan Campbell came out and said that they're going to be he said they're going to be the lucky strike of this year. So
I love Dan Campbell with a passion. Not that I love the team, but him like saying like basically like let's eat nails. Like yes,
without any milk.
Step right this way. Okay, after Goddard, we have Treylon. Interesting. Treylon is a very polarizing player with this whole asthma and being out of shape thing.
So I think you have to pick the next best flex player just to add
Lockett,
some depth.
Smith, Elijah Mitchell, Christian Kirk, Garrett Wilson. So, yeah, I think you just, now we don't need quarterback. We don't need tight end.
An interesting pick here.
Booby, Clyde, Kareem, my pants. Chase Edmonds is interesting. Damian Harris is always a reliable RB2.
I don't like him, but do you like Cordero here?
I don't like Cordero. I think it's too unreliable. He was so good last year. Like truthfully, was so good. I don't trust him. I
think
can't trust him.
Clyde's not a terrible pick. Kareem Hunt's not a terrible pick.
Who do we have on receivers? Ayuk, Gage, Robert Woods, Tony. I do love me some Kadarius Tony, Rat Master.
Why not take Robert Woods? He's hurt, but like a lot of upside.
So would you take Robert Woods over Miles? I don't think we should put that much stock into the Eagles. Right now we have AJ Brown and Goddard. I don't think I'd take Booby.
No, I'm not touching him this year. Absolutely not.
Clyde, you're not touching the Booby this year?
I'm not. I'm gonna keep my mouth shut. Clyde, I think is a safe pick, but like I said, I'm all about taking guys who you can be somewhat confident in, and I think the Titans are gonna use Treylon Burks a lot this year with Robert Woods being hurt and losing AJ Brown.
He just got picked though.
Did he? Okay, because I was gonna say he'd be a good pick. I'm probably going Clyde here or Kareem Hunt. Like I love Robert Woods, but just like in a new team with being hurt, I just don't know how much confidence I have in him.
Let's take Kareem Hunt at 69 because I just feel like that just is speaking to me. I don't know why.
Devin Singletary is grossing me out.
Devin Singletary is so gross. All right, so we have Clyde, Ayuk, Damon Harris, Cordarrelle, Tony Pollard. A bunch of guys go. We're still looking in probably the wide receiver, running back range. Top guys. How do you feel about Rashad Penny this year?
I think he had a lot of spark last year. I think he's a good bench guy to have because he's going to be their RB1. I just don't think the Seahawks are going to be good this year, so I don't like taking players on bad teams. But he played well last year to end the year, so
why not? He was amazing to end the year, but
then why not take a chance on him?
Take a chance on me. I think after this running back pick, we could probably go back to receiver because we only have 3, I think, still.
What are your thoughts on Melvin?
On Melvin?
Mm-hmm.
I don't mind Melvin. I think he's fine. Like I'd probably take him as one of the last guys. I don't know where we're at now. Let me look at the draft board.
You have no heart.
You don't know about me. 11th pick, I would not take him. I'd probably take him like the 13th. I'd feel comfortable. Like Melvin has tons of upside if Javonte were to ever get hurt, but like I don't like taking. I used to do this, but I don't like taking running back handcuffs anymore.
Yeah,
I feel like it's just a losing recipe.
Okay.
So I think we need to go back to receiver based on what we've drafted so far.
Yeah.
We're really good. We're really good at running back. We have 5 running backs, 3 receivers.
I'd say go wide receiver here, or not a bad option just to have as a backup in case Goddard doesn't play well is to take Freiermuth.
You don't like Zachy? Your old friend Zachy?
I love Zach Ertz, big Zach Ertz fan. I just don't think he has it anymore. Or like
who would you take out of this receiver group? Because I'll tell you quickly. Kadarius Toney is another humongous upside, but he's always hurt, injury kind of guy. Jacoby Myers is pretty much as safe as a PPR option as you can get, but he's not exciting. He's there's nothing. He doesn't make you excited. Like he has no upside.
Yeah. I think great offense. I think the no-brainer here would be Kenny Galladay, but after what he did to me last year, I'm not touching him with a 10-foot pole.
That's fair.
So I think Tyler Boyd or Galladay are reasonable picks here.
All right, let's do it for my Giants fandom. On Galladay.
I hated that. Such a waste.
He is such a waste of space. Hopefully he's good this year. Okay, so right now, we have 4 receivers. I think we still probably go back to receiver, unless you want to go a backup tight end, which I'm okay with too. I like.
Or Jarvis. What about Jarvis?
Yeah, Jarvis could be good if Michael Thomas is still hurt.
Yeah, I like Jarvis here as a bench player.
Okay, let's take Jarvis. He's always so consistent, honestly.
Mr. Consistency.
All right. Right now, we're just kind of zooming through because we'll just finish.
Oh yeah,
I love finishing.
full
All
steam.
right, so we have 2 more picks, or we can do a defense and kicker. Or we could just do 2 more. Very quickly looking at it.
How many picks do we have left?
We have 2 more picks before we need a defense and kicker. We could take a defense and kicker.
Okay, I say go Fryermuth here.
Okay. Fryermuth's got a lot of upside. I like Fryermuth. He's a steal. Thank you, Fantasy Pros. Okay. I think we probably take one more receiver or Darrell Henderson. I like Darrell Henderson. It's a good RB.
Corey Davis.
Yeah, I think Jameson Williams has a ton of upside if he actually comes back healthy.
I think Sky Moore could be a decent pick.
Oh, I actually agree with that. I didn't see him there. Yeah, I like Sky Moore,
especially with Herbie fully loaded. He could get a lot of opportunities.
He's with Mahomes.
Damn it, that's what I meant.
You dummy head. Okay, so now we need a defense and a kicker.
Who am I thinking of that got drafted? Who's the wide receiver that got drafted by the Chargers? It wasn't Olave.
There wasn't one.
There wasn't one?
No.
I'm just going to go jump in a hole then.
Okay.
I think you got to go Tyler Bass here.
A little bass. I like your bass.
A little sea bass.
A little sea bass action. I don't really – defense kicker really doesn't matter. Let's just take the top available. Okay. So.
The Bills got Von Miller, right?
75 out of 100. That's like my normal test scores in college. All right. I mean, I really pay no attention to that. But Lamar, Derrick Henry, Saquon, A.J. Brown, McLaurin, Thielen, Goddard, Brees, Kareeming my pants, Rashad Penny, Kenny Galladay, Jarvis, Fryermuth, Sky.
So when I look at this team, I think it's a good-looking team, but I don't think it's enough to get you a chip.
I don't think it's enough either.
What do you think we could have done differently? I think it's this, unless he has an unreal season.
I think Saquon was not the pick there.
Saquon pick should have been different.
Yeah, I think Saquon wasn't the pick there.
Go back up to the draft board to see who else we could have taken.
I would have felt more comfortable looking back at this.
I would have
taking
probably,
a receiver.
Maybe. Yeah, I would have probably gone Debo or Tyreek Hill. That would have been my.
Yeah, say we went Debo or Tyreek Hill, and then we went instead of AJ Brown, or we could have gone AJ Brown, but we could have gone Zeke, Fournette. I think I would have felt better about that start.
Yeah, to have Derrick Henry and then
well, let's think about it this way. Think about
Tyreek
it this way.
Hill.
Tyreek Hill. Let's just say Tyreek Hill. Tyreek Hill and Zeke or Fournette. Let's just say, I don't know.
Let's put it this way. Who would you rather have? Derrick Henry, Saquon, and AJ Brown, or Derrick Henry, Tyreek Hill, and Zeke?
That. I think that.
The latter?
Yeah. Because I think there's still tons
Zeke
of
had a horrible year last year. I remember when Henry took him first in the first round.
Yep,
and now he's dropping. Now he's dropping to the third round. Like, he had a bad year last year, but he's still their RB1, and I feel like he needs a bounce back year. And they're going to be running the ball now more than ever since they lost Amari.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Dak is trash.
Dak is trash. I think I would have. That's the main one I would have changed. If it was up to me, I think I would have waited probably on tight end. Like, even if you look here, like Goddard went 8. I don't think this would actually, like in our league, our home league, there are always runs. And what that means is that once one is taken, many are taken. So like, for example, once Dak was taken, Kyler, and then Jalen,
so
Trey.
Do you think in the third round?
Yeah.
other aside from Travis Kelce and Mark Andrews being taken
Yep.
after the third round, you're absolutely passing on Darren Waller and George Kittle.
No, depending on where they go. I think fifth round is a good spot for them. I wouldn't probably reach on them in the. I don't know. I mean, if I have a turn pick, like if I have like
It's tough
four,
because I think after those top 5 tight ends,
there's a drop off.
you're
There's
kind of
definitely a
screwed.
drop off. But the thing is, Darren Waller, I don't know like what the deal is with him with now that Devontae Adams is there. Like Devontae Adams commands a humongous target share. George Kittle, I love George Kittle so much, but like I love him as a pure tight end. Like I love him watching him.
Yeah.
Like he's not a pure receiver. And on top of that, Trey Lance is unproven. So like that makes me nervous.
So based off being realistic here,
Yes.
if you had the 10th pick,
Yes.
who are you going with back to back? Because I think it's going obviously something along the lines of Jonathan Taylor, McCaffrey, Cooper Kupp, Derrick Henry.
I don't think Kelce goes there.
Eckler at 5.
Yeah, I think Eckler
Justin
goes 5.
Jefferson at 6. Dalvin at 7.
Jamar Chase probably at 8.
Jamar Chase at 8, and then Aaron Jones at 9. So with back-to-back picks, do you like Najee and maybe like do you like Najee and I don't know, Stephon Diggs, or would you go I think you have to go like Najee and Devontae Adams?
That's a tough question. Well, if I'm looking at the board based on like this, for example, with how the look at like how many receivers go in those middle rounds.
Yeah. In our league,
I think I have to take a receiver.
Yeah, in our league, if I had the 10th pick, and I doubt this would happen, but like, we have some stupid people in our league. If
Totally.
If it was the 10th pick and this was a possibility for me, I'm going Dalvin and Najee.
If that was your start, that would be a hell of a start.
Right? That's what I'm going, and I'm more than fine with passing on like Devontae Adams and Tyreek Hill, because the reason why I say that's a possibility is because somebody could take Jamar Chase.
I think Jamar Chase might be the first receiver taken in our league because of how hyped up he is.
In Dalvin Cook's place, you swap out Jamar Chase, and then you like swap like Travis Kelce and Jamar Chase or something.
It could happen. Yeah. It really could. You're right. And if you had a start like that, that's insane. Like Dalvin and Najee start would be huge. Two workhorse running backs. Once you brought up actually Dalvin Cook, honestly, like I started really thinking about it, and I think he's going to be so good this year.
He's so good. It's just his injury status. Like if he can stay healthy.
I know, but everyone gets injured. Like
you get injured.
You don't tell me that. Yes. Like four out of the top 5 this year were hurt. So or this past year. So like I don't know. Injuries can happen at any time. I told you, if I have the first pick, I will really heavily consider taking McCaffrey. There's a game of chance, and I will take a chance on him.
It is, because even if you think about the Colts, for example, like they really don't have too many options, and they're going to be giving JT the ball, 20 to 30 carries a game.
They'll be really improved, I think, with Matt Ryan. I guess it depends on how you view it, right? Like, because also Michael Pittman now is going in the 4th round. Like, I feel like that might be a little steep.
So before we wrap this epi up, Jay,
yes, sir.
I want to circle back to my original question I asked you.
I'll stop sharing my screen.
Do you think there is certain picks that are more valuable having in the first round over others?
So based on this mock draft, this year I think is the year that it doesn't matter as much. With that being said, I always think there is an inherent advantage to having a first pick, having a top 3 pick even, because when you can circle back on that 3rd round where there's still so much value before there's a drop off, and they're still really good players, and some get pushed up, right? So like sometimes quarterbacks will get taken in the second round, like you took Mahomes. So other guys are pushed down, or I don't know, like I'm sure someone is crazy enough to take Kyle Pitts in the second round, right? So it's like polarizing players like that. So like, and then it pushes other players down, and when that happens, it's usually the people at the front of the line who get the value. So like, if someone's pushed out of the second round just by chance, the person who has the 301 is usually the guy to get it, which is Ryan last year. Although it didn't work out, I mean, think of how stacked his team was, right? Like it doesn't work out every year. Like for example, the year that I had Clyde and I took Clyde first, we were talking about it yesterday. That was actually the year that I had one of like the best record in our league, surprisingly enough. So it doesn't matter if you like. I think that year I was like the 9th pick, and I was 11-4 or something like that. Like I had an amazing record, and I didn't go anywhere. I ended up trading Clyde, I remember, for Tyler Boyd, like because I needed a receiver. But my point is, you can definitely lose your draft in the first couple rounds, but just because your first pick gets hurt doesn't mean you lose. So like, I rather take the chance, and if I have the first couple picks, like I'll tell you right now, if I have the first pick, I will heavily consider Christian McCaffrey. I don't know if I would do it because I think Jonathan Taylor is too safe.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Also, with how he bent me over last year from you.
Oh,
And I liked it. I don't know if I can pass on him, but if I have the second pick, I'll tell you right now, if I have a second pick, Christian McCaffrey will be my pick if he's available.
Yeah, the thing that's we're gonna have to wrap up this episode because there's some construction on the other side of my wall, which is really annoying. But I think the first pick's just like such a great pick to have because you take Jonathan Taylor, and then when it comes back to you, you could take, but depending who's there, like you could take you have back to back, so you could take Saquon or Zeke if they're there, and then you take a top receiver depending on who falls. Like I doubt Tyreek Hill would make it that far. But
he could. But he could.
You could take Tyreek Hill, and like those first 3 picks to start off your fantasy season is pretty fire.
Yeah. But yeah, I think we should wrap this puppy up and put a bow on it.
Put a tie on it.
Put a tie on it. I think this is a good episode. I mean, honestly, like this is just a good way of like looking at where value lies and when it drops. Players will drop all the time. People will reach on them. It's kind of what I said in the Dynasty video. You just need to know what your league mates' tendencies are. Like, it was pretty obvious you were going to take Mahomes in the first 3 rounds, like of the past 3 years. I didn't think you would take him in the second last year, but you wanted him, you got him, right? And like that'll happen again this year. Not necessarily.
I remember I did take him in the 3rd round again because I took. I took Devontae Adams.
And then I
took Jonathan Taylor. Yeah.
Okay, so like that was like a pretty much a gimme for like every year, right? But like I think my point is like know your league mates' tendencies. Like I didn't think that last year. I wasn't smart enough to realize that every single quarterback would be taken, including backups. Like that didn't occur to me. So I kept waiting, and then I was left with no one. And I prefer to take quarterback late. But
yeah, and I think another thing to consider is you can't rely on the fact that a player is going to fall because someone like you look at these 2 guys, for example, who you said are kind of in the same ballpark with Hopkins and Michael Thomas,
right?
Knowing the guys in our league, they see that name pop up and they're like, oh, like that's a juicy name. There's no way either of those guys make it past the 7th round, in my opinion, this year.
You don't think so? I think they will.
I don't think either of them will.
Hopkins is so polarizing because he's not even hurt, but I can't reach on him. Also, with Hollywood now, I don't know.
Yeah,
that's tough. That's a tough one, and Hollywood too. Like he'll explode in the first 6 games. Well, you think, but then after those first 6 games, then what? Right? Like Hopkins comes back, and then what was a very concentrated funnel of targets is no longer. So it's just something you got to consider. I genuinely like to go for the upside, but that's not everyone's cup of tea. And honestly, it hasn't worked out for me, so maybe I'm not the best person to go by. I averaged 4th place, so
I probably average first based off of the fact that I've won the league 3 out of the 6 years.
I think you averaged no, but you were also in last place. I think you also averaged 4th.
Fuck. Well, I
And
am
then
the champ.
Russo averaged like 8th.
I mean, he's been horrible. He's finally been like stepping it up, and he should have won the league last year with Derrick Henry and Cooper Kupp. He just got screwed.
Well, Andy stopped paying attention.
That too.
I said this to my girlfriend yesterday when I was just talking to her about fantasy football, not that she cares. And I was talking about how if Brick and Russo paid attention, they would have easily had 2 of the best teams in the league, but neither of them like paid attention, and then people would get hurt or be on bye and they wouldn't switch them out, so they would lose those games. But they had such good teams when they drafted. So, fantasy is also as much as the draft as it is about, making trades. And I mean, our league doesn't love making trades because everyone tries to win them and they don't try to do equal value, which is fine, but like that's just how it goes. Just pay attention to the waiver wire and stuff like that. I've been able to pick up gems every year. Not that it helped, but I pick up James Robinson, Elijah Mitchell. Like there are usually some gems that just pop up. So always pay attention for those two.